around like that at age 58. So I want to get that out the way first. But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul. Now, unlike people who've worked with me, unlike people who are friends and colleagues, what have you, I didn't find it funny.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank.
That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
Stephen A. Smith criticized Jake Paul for fighting Gervonta Davis, saying Jake is simply too big for him. He explained that Jake keeps picking fights that don't truly challenge him, calling this one one-sided and unfair. Smith said Jake avoids opponents who are equal in size or skill, showing that his choices are more about easy wins than proving real ability.
That was Mike Tyson. Now you're going into the ring against a cat that's 228. He's a young lion, and no matter what questions may exist about Jake Paul and his ability to box real boxers, because we haven't really seen that yet from him, we don't question his power. Mm-hmm. We know he's got power.
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith asked Gervonta Davis's coach which fighters deserve to face Tank next. The coach didn't hesitate. He said anyone who has spoken badly about Davis should step up first. He mentioned names like Shocker Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, who have both questioned Tank's skills. For the coach, it's not just about rivalry, it's about respect. He believes these fighters need to feel Tank's power for themselves. It's not revenge for words said. It's about shutting up critics and proving Tank's dominance. From his view, it's time for those who talk too much to face the reality of Tank's strength inside the ring.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him. You're training him all the time. You know him. Both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down to, we're working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Comedian and commentator Aries Spears didn't hold back when giving his opinion. He said the upcoming fight feels more like a show than a real sporting event. Still, Spears believes Davis's power and precision will end the fight early, predicting a knockout by round 3. He criticized the circus-like hype around the bout, but also praised Tank's finishing ability. Spears' view reflects how many fans feel seeing the fight as both ridiculous and entertaining. It's part skill, part show, where even skeptics admit Davis could end things brutally before it goes too far.
The next fight that's coming up is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
Oh, this is such a circus.
Yeah. Look, according to BetOnline.ag, Gervonta Davis is favored -240, Jake Paul's +190. So more than twice the odds for Davis. Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fighter.
I'm predicting a third-round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. As a boxing fan, to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again.
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard Floyd was talking about coming out of retirement to fight Crawford. Now, that's got some panache to it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but I think Floyd will end up taking a loss.
Finally.
That's the thing. He'd mess up that record.
Yeah. And I would respect him for it because we know how much he's tried to protect the record. Take the risk. This is what great fighters are supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people were saying that Terrence Crawford should retire because he's, 43-0 at this point?
Okay.
He's like 37 years old. I personally don't think
But he's still got the goods, though.
Oh, he's got the goods.
Yeah, he's still got the goods.
Because Canelo was a monster. Crawford had been dominating for a while.
Right.
And he had only had 2 losses, one of which was Mayweather. very early in his career. But this whole like Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis thing, is just like, because Gervonta was supposed to fight Roach. There was supposed to be a rematch because it was, I believe, a draw last time.
Yeah.
So you go and fight Jake Paul instead? I'm sure it's a much bigger bag. I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
And clearly that's what it's about. It's the bag, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have Denzel Washington fighting somebody. Like, you know, they're going to start putting, like, old men. I mean, they're already putting old men in the ring.
As long as before the fight, Denzel looks at his watch and goes, 16 seconds. I'm with it.
Stephen A. Smith, known for being outspoken, says boxing needs to move past these show-style fights. He believes Gervonta Davis should take on opponents that test him and build his legacy, instead of fighting for spectacle. Smith said he'd like to see Tank rematch Ryan Garcia, who still has unfinished business with him, or face Teofimo Lopez or Shocker Stevenson fighters who could truly challenge him. Smith's point is simple: fans deserve meaningful fights. Those are the matchups that make champions and bring back boxing's true spirit. He doesn't want Tank's talent wasted on events that mean little, but wants to see it sharpened through real tests.
To me personally, I want to see him fight a Garcia again. I want to see him fight a Teofimo Lopez, somebody like that that's got some power, somebody that has the potential to inflict some pain upon him, because I don't know if anybody can do it. And I've totally lost it with David Haney. After what I saw Ryan Garcia do to him, even though Ryan Garcia was a bit bulked up.
More and more boxing experts are losing patience with Jake Paul's career choices. They say his recent fight announcements follow the same pattern, picking strange matchups that get attention, but not respect. Many believe his fights are made for headlines and viral moments rather than proving real skill. They point out that Jake avoids fighters with equal experience, weight, or technique. His events draw millions of views, but critics argue that entertainment is replacing authenticity. The hype overshadows the sport, and the stories sound planned instead of real. For true boxing fans, this is why Jake is still seen as a showman, not a serious boxer.
Performance. Jake Paul won the fight. But yeah, that was that. This time, Jake Paul is to take on Tank Davis. Tank Davis, he was recently in the news for being arrested for a domestic violence incident involving one of his kids' mother. He was alleged to have slapped her about the place. The charges were later dropped, to be fair to him. But yeah, that was when he was last in the news. What is interesting is just a couple of months ago, Tank Davis was saying openly that he'd lost his passion for boxing and that he wanted time away from the sport. There was speculation that he might even retire as he was experiencing extreme mental fatigue from boxing, depression, and there were mental health concerns over him. However, I guess the opportunity to earn a truck full of money, fighting a completely worthless exhibition fight against Jake Paul, was enough to make him change his mind about boxing. Funny that, isn't it? But you know what? I'm not even going to waste your time or mine critiquing this utter nonsense. Suffice to say that this so-called fight we're talking about is an exhibition, and it pits Jake Paul, who is a cruiserweight, by the way, weighs in excess of 200 pounds, and Tank Davis, who is, he was the WBA lightweight champion, who weighs in at about 135 pounds when he fights. So that's a disparity of some 65 pounds. In old money, that's about 4.5 stone. There's also a significant difference in height. Jake Paul is roughly, 6'1", 2. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" at best. So, there's a height disparity there of some 8 inches. And once again, this is Jake Paul showing total disrespect to boxing, in my opinion.
Many analysts believe Gervonta Davis's recent decisions are guided more by money than legacy. They say his team is chasing big paydays instead of fights that could build his championship history. The planned match with Jake Paul strengthens that belief. For some, it's proof that boxing has turned into an entertainment business before a sport. Tank's knockout power guarantees pay-per-view sales, and pairing him with a YouTube star makes it even bigger. But traditionalists worry this focus on money hurts boxing's values. They fear fighters now choose based on profit, not challenge. While Davis's skills are undeniable, his recent choices suggest fame and money matter more than legacy.
Look at how Tank started acting after he made $40 million with Ryan. When he make another $40+ million with Jake,
He's gonna go make $40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Rowe for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing. You do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it. You want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40, 50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo money, man.
Jeff Mayweather, a respected boxing figure, openly questioned this matchup. His main concern is the clear size and weight difference between Jake and Tank. He explained that weight classes exist to keep fights fair and safe. In this case, Jake's larger build gives him an obvious physical advantage. Jeff said that even though Tank has more skill, the difference in size, reach, and power makes the fight unfair. He called it a mismatch that could hurt boxing's image. For him, this isn't just about the two fighters, it's a sign that promoters are willing to bend the rules for money and
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Carl Froch, known for his brutal honesty, didn't hold back about Jake Paul's choices. He accused Jake of purposely picking smaller fighters to keep his size advantage. Froch said it's ridiculous that Jake avoids bigger names like Anthony Joshua or true heavyweights, instead going for someone like Davis, who fights many divisions lower. To Froch, this shows Jake's real goal, creating viral mismatches, not real challenges. His comments reflect how many boxing veterans feel disappointed that the sport's traditions are being traded for internet fame. Froch's blunt words highlight a bigger problem. Boxing might be sacrificing integrity for attention and money.
Supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Daniel Cormier, respected for his combat sports insight, strongly criticized the upcoming fight. He said it won't offer real competition, just a predictable outcome. Cormier pointed out that Jake Paul's size advantage removes any real suspense, making it hard for fans to take seriously. He explained that the weight gap doesn't just affect power, it changes stamina, safety, and fairness. Cormier warned that while the event will attract curiosity, it adds nothing to boxing's real value. He said the sport's growing focus on hype instead of skill could damage its reputation. His comments echo what many fighters feel, that boxing is losing its identity to shallow publicity stunts.
Wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why he's taking this fight.
He's been a world champion so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why and how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Suleiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's the thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Observers note that even though many call this fight meaningless, it actually benefits everyone in the boxing business. Promoters, networks, and even rival fighters gain from the buzz it creates. The arguments and controversy drive views and money for all sides. Ironically, the same experts who insult the fight are the ones spreading its reach by constantly talking about it. This shows how modern boxing feeds on drama just as much as it does on real fights. Every complaint becomes free promotion, and every insult sells tickets. The funny thing is the fights people call embarrassing are the same ones keeping boxing popular and profitable.
Criticism for fighting Jake Paul, but yet at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul. Spar Jake Paul for the Tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap. Because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So, do I think that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence Crawford said in an interview that he wouldn't fight Jake Paul, that's not a serious fight. And then they said, well, would you fight Jake Paul for $200 million? And he said, I'd be fighting Jake Paul.
The larger debate around this fight isn't just about who wins, it's about what it means for boxing. Many say it shows how the line between sport and entertainment has blurred. Jake Paul's rise proves that fame can matter more than skill. And Gervonta Davis joining in shows that even elite boxers aren't above chasing hype. Critics argue that this trend waters down the sport, turning it into a stage for novelty instead of competition. Supporters disagree, saying it's simply boxing's evolution, helping it stay relevant in a social media era. Either way, this fight forces everyone to ask, has boxing become a business built on fame? Or is it still about proving greatness through discipline and skill?
95 pounds, bearing in mind Tank Davis fights at 135. That's 60 pounds size difference. And Tank often weighs in light at 133.5 pounds. You know, he's 5'5". He's not a big guy. Okay, let's be honest, he's tiny. I could literally put him in my pocket. You know, he's a pocket rocket, but he's small. Yes, I know, I went too far. Let's move on. Jake's been fighting a cruiserweight, over 200 pounds. You know, he's 6'1". He's just a bigger guy. You know, a different beast. This is what Jake does. Love or hate him, he knows how to generate interest, get people talking, in his words, do the unthinkable. But guess what? People will tune in. What can I say? The guy's clever. He calls out AJ. The fight's looking likely. Everybody's outraged. Can't believe it. Then bang. He's fighting Tank. The man's half the size. He's done it again. Whether you like it or not, he's a marketing genius. He knows how to keep his name on your tongue. Everyone slated him for fighting Mike Tyson. I did too. He was fighting an old man with health problems. But guess what? I tuned in. And do you know why? Because curiosity killed the cat. And I wasn't alone. 100 million plus people tuned in.